Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. You're not going to believe some of the details we have today. We're going to be speaking about The Mandalorian Season 3, Darth Vader in the Kenobi series, and more. But without much further ado, and without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. We begin with an insane scoop for The Mandalorian by Making Star Wars. I was on their livestream when they broke this, and it's going to spark a lot of discussion amongst the fandom. They say, as The Mandalorian readies to wrap production and complete its final reshoots for the season, I have some exclusive information to share about developments for Grogu and friends. In Season 3, Grogu is getting his Beskar armor at some point during the story. Even the children, Mandalorian children, are called to fight, and we will see some armored foundlings in action next to their caretakers. In fact, in the next season, Grogu technically fights for Mandalore as a foundling in ways you would not expect. And herein lies the big scoop. Somehow, IG-11 has returned. That's right, my friends, he is back. And Making Star Wars say, what does the droid have to do with Grogu's armor? Well, the IG droid is going to act as a mech for baby Grogu. Grogu is literally going to sit inside the chest of a modified IG-11 who has been reinforced with Beskar and has been turned into the foundling's suit of Mandalorian armor. The little critter is well protected and as dangerous as ever. Basically, IG-11 is controlled by Grogu. However, he also acts as Grogu's Jarvis. IG gives him data on possibilities of success and protects the child when need be, and Grogu kicks some serious ass in the series once this upgrade takes place. And in their own words, Making Star Wars say, he literally beats the shit out of some stormtroopers. F yes, Grogu. F yes. Okay, that last bit was me not making Star Wars, but you get the picture. Now, you're probably wondering, how is this possible? How did IG-11 survive? Well, they say that we can only theorize at the moment, after he exploded at the end of Season 1 of The Mandalorian, but Making Star Wars suspect that the Jawas we see scrambling after the fight just before Moff Gideon emerges with the Darksaber are probably responsible for him being saved. Or we can speculate it's a new IG droid entirely. But what they're saying is that crew members are calling Grogu's mech suit IG-11, so make of that what you will. And their sources also say that they expect Taika Waititi to return to do the voice of IG-11 via ADR recording during post-production. And apparently, guys, this is a long time coming. The concept was first implemented by Dave Filoni in the Clone Wars, and this was done on a character named Serapaz. He was a tiny bounty hunter who used a droid body as a mechanized suit, the same way that Grogu is going to use IG-11. This is a turn of events that nobody expected. But the great news, guys, is that IG-11 is back, and with Taika Waititi returning to do the voice, I wonder if he's going to direct in Season 3. Now that is some great news, but I'm going to refrain from judgment on the Grogu and IG-11 stuff until we actually see it on screen, because it's never the same on paper. If you want to know my initial reaction, it sounds equally badass as it does slightly silly, I'm not gonna lie to you. But if Grogu's got to defend himself, then it's great that he's geared up with a Beskar rebuilt IG unit. That part does sound epic, and I can't wait to see what that looks like on screen. That's all we know so far, but more details are surely still to come. So now, my dear friends, we have some awesome news for the Kenobi series, quite a lot of it actually. Ewan McGregor gave an interview with Entertainment Weekly and accidentally revealed that we are getting Clone Wars flashbacks with Obi-Wan and Anakin. In one section of the interview, he describes being back on set with Hayden as Darth Vader and then again as Anakin. He said he turned around and Anakin was right there. He said it took him right back to 2005 on the set of Revenge of the Sith, and for him, it was as if no time had passed. And I will say, go and watch it, it's heartwarming and also exciting. But that, my dear friends, is not the only news we have for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Less than 24 hours after they gave us those initial pictures of the Kenobi series, Entertainment Weekly have now given us our first glimpse at Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader. And we also have some exclusive interviews and behind the scenes details. Let's get straight into it. In this phenomenal picture that's very reminiscent of the original trilogy, we see Vader emerging from his meditation chamber. And this begs a question, are we going to see Darth Vader helmetless? Well, EW asked Hayden Christensen this, and this is what he had to say. I wish I could tell you, I'm sworn to secrecy. He did, however, tease that fans are going to see a very powerful Vader, which is exactly what the leakers and scoopers have been saying, that we're going to get a Vader very reminiscent of Rogue One. Now let's be real here, Hayden Christensen can't say anything, but they wouldn't have got him back if it was just to be in the suit. I'm sure we're going to see Darth Vader without the helmet, and Joby Harold, the series writer, stated the following: "His shadow is cast across so much of what we do, and the degree of his proximity to that shadow is something that we'll discover, but he is very much a part of the show emotionally for Obi-Wan, and possibly beyond that as well." And then we also get another exclusive from Entertainment Weekly. This one is a great article, inside the 17-year journey to reunite Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now there is so much to unpack in this article, it's a really long one, so I'm just going to pick out those details which are worth speaking about. Let's get into it. I want to start by highlighting a section about Darth Vader and the big question that the writers and producers had to grapple with: to Vader or not to Vader? That was the question. EW say the following: "As the creative team began remapping Obi-Wan's story, aggressive negotiations, this time without a lightsaber, commenced as to whether that story should also include the fallen Jedi." Kathleen Kennedy said this: "The debate around whether we should do that or not carried on for quite some time. Everybody within our creative team has strong opinions, and all of our fans have strong opinions. So when you realise that you're under that level of scrutiny, certainly a story point like that is going to be scrutinised at a very high level. We talk about it constantly. In this case, metaphorically speaking, the dark side won. And with McGregor back, there was only one choice to fill out the big black suit. Deborah Chow travelled to Hayden's farm to make her pitch in person. And Christensen says, Deborah came up and we spent the whole day chatting. She told me a little bit about the project and her vision for it, and I just thought that it sounded wonderful. I was very excited to come back." And Joby Harold, the writer, says, "It was so important to have Hayden be a part of this project because he's such a massive part of that character. It was a priority to all of us that we did it with as much care as possible, so as to honour one of the greatest villains and antagonists in the history of entertainment." But one question all of these people refuse to answer is whether James Earl Jones is going to come back to do the voice. I would presume he is, and making Star Wars even say that they've heard that he is back for the vocal role. This article also contains some really awesome reminiscing of the prequel trilogy between Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. I really recommend you go and read all of it. But those were the highlights to do with Darth Vader, the return of Hayden Christensen as Vader, and we've also had those rumours that he is going to be Anakin in Flashbacks. Epic stuff, and we also got this incredible first look at Vader and Kenobi. And so finally, my dear Mandalorians, we're going to talk about LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, because new details have emerged on StarWars.com. In a brand new video from Warner Brothers Games, they display some new footage of fan favourite planets across the saga, as well as new details on how they brought those planets to life. They say they put a big emphasis on the freedom of the player to explore the worlds we love inside and out. In the video, they showcase so many planets, but the ones that stood out to me as visually absolutely gorgeous were Naboo, Coruscant, Geonosis, Takodana, Bespin, Tatooine, and Kashyyyk. Honestly, this game looks incredible, and I know, I've been hyping it a lot on my channel recently, but just 25 days to go. And one tidbit to wrap things up, just as we suspected, Lucasfilm do not rule out the possibility of Obi-Wan Season 2. We know that the series is going to generate so many subscribers on Disney+, and therefore be considered very profitable, especially with big legacy characters. So even though they're branding it as a limited series, don't be surprised when we get a Season 2, and possibly other spin-off shows too. Season 1 drops on May the 25th, I can't wait. A full trailer will drop sometime soon, I suspect May the 4th. But let me know your thoughts of this and everything we spoke about in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this one, my dear friends, you know what to do. Please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and a massive hello and welcome if you are. But until the next one, my dear friends, may the force be with you always. I'm Star Wars Meg, have a good one.